Welcome to Rogers High School for Northwest Suburban Conference girls basketball. Tonight, it's a matchup between the Park Center Pirates, who are unbeaten at 4-0 coming in, against the host Royals, who are 0-2 so far. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, along with former Park Center head coach Patty Sorensen. And great start for the Pirates this year, Patty. They basically have their entire team back from a really good team last year, and they're hitting on all cylinders so far.
They are. They're having a good start. Like you said, they've started out 4-0. Their first two games were in the breakdown, where they had to go against Stillwater and St. Michael, two well-coached, very talented teams, and they came out on top.
Rogers, a new member of the Northwest Suburban this year, and this is their first conference game, but 0-2 start. They had a lead against Moorhead for much of that game and lost a close one. Then the STMA kind of took it to them the other night, and they're kind of hoping to bounce back from that and maybe have learned a little bit from that against the pressure they saw from the Knights.
Yeah, and you know, it's early in the season. You're still getting your kids in the routine of what you want. They've put in a new offense, so it's a new learning curve for the kids. Give them some time. They've got some talented young ladies on this team, and they're going to continue to improve.
Yeah, the future, I think, certainly looks bright for Rogers, and actually for both of these teams. When you look at all the young talent that we're going to see on the court, you're going to be hearing these names for a couple more years for both programs.
Well, you are. You know, Park Center has Adalia, McKenzie, and Tanae Griffin down there. Over here on Rogers, they have a nice young lady that's a sophomore guard, and I think she's got some phenomenal things that are becoming her way, too.
Let's talk about key players to look at in this evening's contest, starting with Park Center, and we will talk about Adalia McKenzie, a player who can really score the ball in a lot of different ways. She's just a tough matchup.
You know, Adalia works hard. I mean, she's a workhorse. She looks at things that she needs to improve on, and she's not afraid to work on those things. She's strong. She's physical. She can attack. She can shoot from outside. She can play great defense. She just is a workhorse kid and a fun kid to watch.
And for Rogers, we're going to talk about one of their seniors. They really only have a couple on the team. Elena Brenning, though, is a player who can fill it up on a given night for them.
Well, you know, I think her senior leadership is what's going to bring it through for her. She can shoot the ball. Coach would like to see her shoot a little more often than she is. And, you know, she's heading on to college, too. And I think that senior leadership a lot of times is key. And it sounds like she's the lady to do it for them.
Going to Upper Iowa next year, and she's 11 for 11 on her free throws in her first couple of games, so might be something to watch if she goes to the line tonight. Certainly Park Center the favorite coming into this one, Patty, and I really think how Rogers is able to handle their pressure is probably going to be the tell of how this game goes. It could be a Park Center blowout if they're able to really throw it on them, but if not, I think Rogers has enough talent to stay in this one.
Well, I think Rogers has a lot of talent, and I think that was one of Coach's concerns. He says we need to handle their pressure. We need to handle their quickness. But yet Rogers feels they have some quickness too. So, you know what? You can never outlook anything or overlook anybody. I think both teams got to come in, stick to their program, and we should be seeing a good game.
All right, the Pirates and the Royals coming up in just a moment here. It's Northwest Suburban Girls Basketball here on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back to Rogers as the starters being introduced to the crowd here this evening. Joining us courtside tonight will be Allie Mosley. Let's go over to Allie.
Hey, Jay, a 4-0 4-0 start is impressive for anybody, but it's made even more exciting when 3 of those 4 wins were by 6 points or less. So I asked Coach Metcalf before the game, what did those 3 wins say about your team early on? Because this is a team that could come into tonight 1-3. And she said, you know, last year we didn't have any seniors, and we've got the exact same team returning this year. So that means we've got better chemistry and we're more mature. And it's those 2 things that play into those wins when they come in tight. She also said that last year they started out the season losing a couple of those close ones, so they did not want to let that happen again. She also said they have some respect to earn on their name because they're still trying to reel back from that loss to St. Louis Park last season, and a 4-0 start certainly helps them do that. Jay?
Thanks very much, Allie, and definitely as Patty said, difficult opponents that they've played so far as well. Let's take a look at the starters for the Pirates here. As Allie just said, all of their starting lineup returns, and in fact their whole roster really basically that played last year returns tonight. Griffin, Adalia, McKenzie, now juniors, and then this year they do have the seniors in the backcourt, Aaliyah Ragulin, Kayla Cox, and Lauren Frost, with some good young talent coming off the bench as well. Greg Amundsen, the head coach at Rogers, 3rd year here, but 44 years coaching basketball now, and his lineup looks like this. Allie Carls, Elena Brenning, and the talented freshman Clara Glad. Ellie Bazell, a sophomore who's got offers from Minnesota and Wisconsin, among others, and Madeline Jensen has come a long way for them as well as a 6'2 junior, so definitely some young talent, as we said, on the Rogers staff. And Coach Amundsen, we got to know him a little bit when he was coaching over at Centennial, and we see he knows Barb Metcalf very well. They both came to the Twin Cities from North Dakota. He's coached against her. He watched her as a college player, and he kind of had a little chuckle and said she had some good teams at West Fargo, but they couldn't get past Mandan, and that's where he was coaching. And you see Coach West Fargo to 6 state tournaments, 3rd season with the Pirates, and of course the last time we saw them, we didn't want to bring up bad memories, but the Spring Lake Park loss in the Section 5 semifinals was one of the bigger upsets of the playoff last year, but you put that behind you now and you get into this next season and they're ready to roll.
Well, and the key is if you take things from it, you learn from it, you move forward. That one still bites, like they say, and it still hurts a little bit, but it's a new season.
Tip controlled here by the Royals as Jensen got up for that one. Bazell letting it rip early, and she knocks down an early 3. Ellie Bazell, the sophomore, averaging 15.5 a game, and it's 3-0 Royals.
You know, everything I've heard about Allie as far as an athlete, a shooter, I mean, she's a left-handed shooter, but she can do just about everything.
Griffin looking to answer, and no good, and rebound grabbed, and here come the Royals back the other way. And Bazell going to the hoop and was fouled. So Coach did talk about, obviously we know Park Center likes to run, but he said overall we have pretty good speed too. And so, you know, when opportunities are there, they're going to try and get after it a little bit in terms of running the ball as well.
Well, they definitely are. And one thing Coach Metcalf had talked about earlier was that her team needs to get better on D, reducing the fouls they make. They play fast, they play aggressive, so there will be some more fouls, but she said defensively they have to do a better job.
Bazell makes a pair. She has all 5 points in the game as she has come out confident. A very good player for the Royals. Ragulin will drop it off to McKenzie. McKenzie looking to drive the ball strong and finishes. Nice layup there by McKenzie.
That was nice. She was patient there. She took her time. She took a good look, had the advantage, and made a great attack to the basket.
Coach Amundsen from Rogers said, we need to get better defensively. He said, but I'm not inclined to try and play a zone early in the season. We want to learn our man-to-man, and even though tonight it might give them some trouble, there's Frost hitting a pull-up jumper. You know, there are going to be some difficult matchups, particularly against somebody like McKenzie, but he said, you know, maybe later on if you're talking playoff time, you might look into a zone, but right now he just wants them to really learn this man-to-man defense.
Well, you know, and I agree with him. You know, you got to get your kids down in their man defense. It's a lot better that way to get to teaching your zones when you get there.
And he was, you know, honest about that. They didn't handle pressure very well against St. Michael Albertville. Look at Bazell. She's on fire early. 8 quick points. McKenzie, a little hesitation dribble, and drops it off, and Raglan scores it.
You know, I've been able to watch the Pirates a couple times this year, and this is one of the things that I've been impressed with is when they play like that and they make it, they look for each other. They've made some amazing passes that have finished off nicely for them.
So an 8-6 early lead for Rogers. We are going to get a foul on Raglan, it looks like, running through that screen.
Well, and that's one of the things Park Center talked about also, not only fouls, but as far as how they are going to guard Bazell and maybe have to switch up and rotate different people on her. So far we've seen she's been able to do what she wanted.
Pass drop back, Frost got a piece of it, and then the jumper put up and down by Carls. Boy, Rogers shooting it well. You can kind of tell they're on their home court, right? I mean, they're used to this gym, this lighting, these rims, and they're on fire early.
You know, they're just ready to go, and they have some shooters that have a beautiful shot, and they've been consistent out there.
Frost from behind a screen, and she nails a three. Second bucket for Lauren Frost. First three-pointer for the Pirates. They are back to within 2. A lot of points early, and I think that favors Park Center if it stays that way all night long. They're a team that would love to be in the 80s on most nights.
Yes, I think they like to attack, and they're going to look for those shots. Where they, I feel, become their strongest is when they're balancing those out with the attacks and the threes.
Turnover then after that as Frost nailed the three there as they tried to get a little pick and roll action going, but Bazell's pass off target, so a chance to tie or take the lead with a three here for Park Center as they hit the front court now. Griffin. McKenzie popping up top, attacks again and scores another layup. Well, she's got such a great first step, but she's also so very strong. A little bump isn't really going to bother her. Then a great steal by McKenzie to Frost. Behind the back for McKenzie, the layup's good.
You know, that's I love to watch Lauren, because when Lauren, she makes some of the most amazing passes, and she really gets her teammates involved that way.
So a 13-11 lead for Park Center. Bazell letting it rip. That one's way off. And Griffin able to take down the rebound, and she was fouled on the reach-in. Watch this great play. First the steal by McKenzie. Ahead to Frost, who looked like maybe was going to have a layup herself, but right on target with that bounce pass.
You know, and that just goes and ties right into what Coach talked about earlier. You know, they've got some seniors. They all are back. They're used to playing together. They're starting to understand more and more each other's moves and looking for things from each other.
Caitlin Mache, number 31, and Hannah Oman, number 13, in now for Rogers. Griffin off to McKenzie. Here's Kayla Cox getting her first look. Too strong with it, but McKenzie tracks down the rebound. Cox will shoot it up again from the other side, and this one is good. Good confidence. That kind of shows that she wasn't worried at all about that first miss. Going to just confidently stroke it again, and it's 16-11 PC.
Well, and that's something I know Kayla has worked on the offseason, is to get that shot better and be a little more consistent with it. What you're going to see out of her more is defense, as far as, I mean, she'll make points, she can shoot, but she's an amazing defensive player.
Oman handing it over to Bazell. There's McKenzie jabbing it away and then comes to get it. McKenzie, up fake, goes to the hoop, scores another one. McKenzie's fourth basket after picking up her second steal. Timeout, Coach Amundsen and Rogers. McKenzie getting bumped around more when she gets to the huddle than on the court.
Well, and that's what's gotten Adalia her points right there. Her defense is creating her offense in the last couple possessions.
McKenzie obviously has already had a very strong career. She's early on in her junior season, and she has progressed, and as you would expect, kind of up in the scoring average over 14 as a game as a ninth grader. Last year was up there just under 28, and she's right around that same spot, but doing a lot of things well this year in this game as well, beyond just scoring the basketball for them. And in fact, Adalia is up for the CCX Play of the Week from a drive she had in the breakdown one of the games there, and we thank Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove for sponsoring our CCX Sports Play of the Week. Vote for that at ccxmedia.org, and all throughout this winter season we're going to have some great action for you on there and place to vote for. And I'm already thinking maybe in my back of my head that Lauren Frost and McKenzie behind the back could be
that was a beautiful play.
Baseline drive here. Dropped off. Mache's short shot won't go. Ragulin pushing it back. Now McKenzie had it slip through her hands briefly there. They come and try and D up tight on her, and then her runner won't go. McKenzie gets it right back, though. Back out to Frost. Frost, a pull-up jumper, won't drop. There's McKenzie. So hard to keep off the board. She's quick and strong, and then we get a push call there going against Oman. And you know what? I'm going to have to throw in too, Patty, on the couple of steals that McKenzie had. I'm going to give credit to the officials. There were times when they would automatically call that a foul when you reach and slap the ball away. And I think we're getting past that point where people consider it an automatic foul. And they weren't fouls, and she just had quick hands and got a piece of the ball.
I think they're really starting to recognize more and more the talent and the skills a lot of these young ladies have and are bringing to the game, and how hard they are working and improving these skills.
McKenzie Mathis has checked in now, number 21 for Rogers. We're going to get more on her later with Allie. Here is McKenzie flashing free, and she is fouled as she goes up for the shot, and Adalia McKenzie will head to the free throw line. And this call will go against Oman, who has quickly picked up her second.
Well, and what Adalia is getting right here is she hasn't quit or given up on one single play. And the shots are going up, she's going back, she's rebounding, she's saving the ball from going out of bounds, she's getting it to her teammates.
Free throw is good. My mistake, Mache picked up that foul, not Oman. So one on Oman and now one on Mache. McKenzie makes both free throws. And so 20-11. Rogers had a lead of 11-6 at one point. So 14-0 run here for Park Center. Ragulin, going to be called for the foul. She thought she had a clean tie up there. That'll be the second on Aaliyah. And we're going to see her check out, I would assume. Yep, Olivia McGill, talented 8th grader coming in. Remember Coach Metcalf saying last year when Olivia was playing some JV, watch this girl, she's going to be really good. And saw them early in the season in practice, and it's like she can really handle the ball. That's going to be a heck of a player.
Well, and that's going to just give them so much more depth like that. And if she focuses in and really goes after that defensive thing, it's going to create for her. And like you said, handling the ball, bringing it up, setting the team up.
Got a block there, and then they tie it up. Alternating possession goes Park Center's way. So Park Center leading at 20-11. 12 minutes to go here in the first half at Rogers High School. Griffin looking to drive it with the left-hand layup. It's good. Battled through a little bit of contact there, too, and finished strong.
I think when Tanae makes that attack, and I like watching her attack the bucket.
There's Griffin slapping it away. Griffin all the way for the layup. Back-to-back hoops for Tanae Griffin. All 5 starters have scored for Park Center, and they're starting to roll now, 24-11. Mache with it out high, jabbed away from her again. It will stay with Rogers. And subs coming for the Royals as Glad will return to the lineup and Jensen as well.
Coach was talking here, Glad is a 6-foot forward, but he was talking that she'll play every position for him, and that's nice. And he said she also has one of their good leaders, has great leadership skills.
Drive into the middle. McGill got a piece of that pass. It looked like she was maybe beat there as McKenzie Mathis made a back cut, but good recovery there to get a piece of that. And that's part of it too. When you're gonna pressure, people are gonna try and backdoor you, and you have to kind of adjust for that a little bit. And we're gonna get a foul on I think a hold as players were making cuts in the middle there. And that'll be Griffin picking up her first. 4th foul on the Pirates.
And that's one of the things Coach wanted her team to improve on their defense, but reduce some of the fouls, and they picked up a couple quick fouls right here.
Baseline jumper is good for Jensen as the Royals break a long drought, and now 24-13. Frost gets a screen, lets it rip in and out. There's McKenzie, though, for the putback. McKenzie set a screen and then dove hard to the hoop and gets the rebound. She is so tough to keep off the offensive glass. And another turnover by Rogers, and then McKenzie had to get away from her, but it was jabbed away, so it will stay with Park Center as Chloe Sink gets set to check in for PC. Another look as she just got by the attempt at blocking her out. And also in for Park Center now is Adalia Rubin, number 15.
You know, and here's you're getting a look at some of Park Center's younger players that are going to be able to come in and contribute, getting good, valuable court time right now. Just like, you know, that's what's impressive about Rogers. They're young, and their kids are getting great, valuable experience on the floor right now.
Hit a blocking foul there as the pass came into Clara Glad. Glad did a nice job getting a steal when McKenzie tried to cross it over in front of her. And we'll get Sink picking up the foul. There's a little cut to the basket by Bazell for the layup. So made a couple of threes, couple of free throws, and now a layup. 26-15. McGill trying to drop it off to Sink, gets control and scores. 28-15 now in favor of Park Center. Mathis pass stolen away by Griffin. Griffin looking ahead to McKenzie, just barely got control and then had to force it up quick. And now we get a tie-up. And let's go over to Allie now, who has more on McKenzie Mathis.
Yeah, Jay, you mentioned her earlier. She's second off the bench tonight, but last year she never played a single game because in the second or third practice of the season, McKenzie had a massive dislocation of her kneecap that did require surgery. Coach Amundsen said it was a traumatic injury to witness, but McKenzie has worked incredibly hard to get back on the court, and Coach calls her their best defensive player so far this year.
Thank you, Allie, and it's always great to hear when players are able to overcome. Obviously, you don't want anybody to get hurt, but when you battle through, and sometimes you kind of can learn some things from watching your teammates too a little bit, and getting a different perspective on things.
Exactly, and the nice thing about that, I mean, it was a horrific injury, but when Coach was talking to us, there was no MCL, ACL injury. But just to think about and describing it, it kind of made you cringe. But then you look at how focused as far as a work ethic to get herself back here and do what she's doing, and to be considered one of their top defender. That's amazing. Great job by that young lady.
Brenning cut off. And then we're going to get a travel call as Glad picked up the dribble, and I think a good idea in trying to step through that double team, but she had already picked up the dribble and just called for a little extra drag of the pivot foot there. So 28-15 Park Center as McGill hits the front court. McGill keeps the dribble alive, goes to the right hand and just missed it. Glad pushing it back the other way. Brenning's not been able to get shots up so far. And Rubin nearly had the steal there. And it will, in fact, be Park Center basketball as Rubin got a piece of it, then off a Royal. And Park Center ball, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that, of Rogers feeling rushed, feeling hurried to get these passes away.
Well, and I think some of the tenacity of the defense and Park Center is always going at the ball, that I think that's what's, and they just got to go back, Rogers does it, and do what they were doing in the beginning. They got to go back, move their ball, look for their shots.
Griffin knocking down a deep three there, 31-15 Park Center. Bazell now with Cox on her, nice pass underneath, but the layup wouldn't drop. Now Brenning gets the rebound, and that one rolls around and in for her first basket.
They've had that backdoor cut pass twice that's been a beautiful touch, and they just got to finish it. They've had the shot, they just got to finish it, and that's rushing themselves, knowing they can make that layup and finish it off.
McGill giving it over to Cox for three, and a little too long there. Bazell looking to push it back, drops the pass off, and no good. And Cox with the rebound was called for a travel. Looked like she might have had a little bit of a bump there from Glad, but it will instead be a turnover and give it back to Rogers as Frost and McKenzie will check back in here for Park Center. Glad inbounding for the Royals. And they get a cut there, and Brenning, they'll miss it. And then she is called for the foul, trying to get it back. Frost will be the beneficiary there because she got caught up, but Brenning misses the layup. So Frost into the front court here. McKenzie looking to turn the corner off the glass too hard that time, and then a foul trying to grab that rebound. I think it'll be McGill. Yep, she got called. What a little reach in and hit the rebounder on the head a little bit. So Carl's into the front court here for Rogers. Bazell taking the handoff, thought about it, and picks up the dribble way out high, ripped away by McKenzie. McKenzie for Cox, blocked. Nice block on the recovery there by Jensen. They were a little too tight together there for that one to really work well. And we'll get a traveling call there as Glad was hemmed in along the sideline.
I think she was trying to stop to get it to a player, and it just didn't work out the way she planned it.
There you see that block from behind, and Cox, that was a tough one because McKenzie, I think, actually kind of lost control of the ball a little, plus their spacing wasn't great there, and it led to a nice block by Jensen. McKenzie looking to McGill, cutting baseline, had it blocked. And Mache, the rebound there for Rogers, and then was fouled by Rubin.
That's going to put them at the free throw line and are 1-1 right now.
Griffin will check back in as Rubin sits down, and Caitlin Mache, the freshman, heading to the free throw line. And it bounces around and drops. First bench point of the game for Rogers. Second free throw no good, but rebounded by Glad. And then it's ripped away, and ultimately Griffin chases it down. Here comes Frost. Nice dish to McKenzie for the layup. I didn't think that one was going to get all the way through, but she had great vision. We had a perfect sight line to see that one, and finds McKenzie for the layup. Then a steal by McGill.
I think
Frost for McKenzie, that time short with it, and then is fouled.
You know, you go back to that pass by Frost, and that's one of the things. She's going to go up to college. She's playing Nebraska and Omaha, and I think that some of those passes she's making are going to be, they're just fun to watch, and I think it's going to be a great asset as she moves on to the next level next year.
And obviously, you want to balance and do everything well. I think Park Center, to me, is better when they're doing that than when they're shooting threes. Not that they can't make threes, not that threes shouldn't be, a big part of their offense and all of that, but I think they're better when they're looking to attack and then maybe attack and go out to a three as well.
I totally agree with you. I think when they are moving like that, they're transitioning, they're running the floor, they're getting multiple players involved. That's their strong point. I agree with you. Then go back out and hit the three because they obviously can shoot them.
Cox knocked it away. Ooh, and then a foul, and unfortunately McGill falls hard as she bumped into Mache there and then landed hard. Be her second foul. See the good pass, and I don't think Mache had any idea that McGill was even there, and tried to time it up right, almost got it, but instead got some body. So Mache will shoot free throws, makes the first. Sink will come in, McGill will check out.
They got some really good minutes out of McGill right in there. So, she did some great things for him. She worked hard on defense, and she was moving up and down the floor.
This time Mache hits them both, though. 33-20 lead for Park Center. Rogers is kind of settled in a little bit again now. I mean, obviously they don't want to be down by 13, but for a while things were really getting away from them. They battled back, and Griffin was fouled. Rogers bench wanted to travel, but they will get instead a little bump.
And I thought Caitlin was playing some great defense on that, being patient, not getting too aggressive on it. And unfortunately, she came up with a foul.
So Griffin to the free throw line, and that one spins out.
I agree with you. I think back there was that while we saw that Rogers seemed to be rushing, and now they're starting to settle back down into their game plan.
Griffin misses a pair at the line, so the lead stays at 13 here for Park Center. Approaching 6 minutes to go in this opening half. Bazell ripping another three. She hit a couple early on, hadn't been able to get free for a while, but still has the confidence in the stroke and knocked that one down. Here's Frost. And that one's short on the rim. Rogers up with it. They're now to within 10. Bazell, the lefty, dishing it over. Carls over to Mache. That one off the top of the backboard. Royals get it back. Brenning back out. Carls is going to shoot up a long one. No good. And rebound by Sink. Now Frost into the front court. Dishes to Cox, and now McKenzie. She'll shoot it up from top, and it's good for three more. McKenzie lighting it up here in the first half. 17 points already. Under 5 to go now, first half. Bazell, a long three. This one won't go, and McKenzie grabs the board.
You know, Bazell, they are not leaving her alone down there on the defense. They are all over her.
McKenzie drives, finishes, and one. Boy, that's a tough guard up top when she's got the dribble going. And foul call going against Mache here will be her third. I'll make that her second. There's another look as she came over with the help. McKenzie's free throw is good, so she completes the three-point play, and I was right the first time. It is the third on Mache.
Yeah, I think Jensen's in for Mache right now.
Cross-court pass intercepted here by McKenzie. McKenzie drives and was fouled and will head to the line.
She attacked that hard and then tried to split the defense, and that's where the foul came from.
McKenzie's free throw no good, and a little score discrepancy. They've got 38 on the board here, and my book and our graphic has 39. I don't know if there was a no good on the free throw there. I don't think that last three-point play, I don't think they put the free throw up for McKenzie. Bazell, a little stop and pop from the free throw line, no good.
You know, Madeline Jensen there, she's 6'2" forward, but she'll bring the ball up for him just like she did the last time. She likes to play on the perimeter too. You're seeing a lot of these taller young ladies that like the perimeter, and that's where they want to work from.
Bazell bumped by Sink. McKenzie gambled for the steal, didn't get it, so she was trailing the play a little bit. So Bazell has had an excellent first half here, already 13 points. Heads to the free throw line. Free throw is good. Second free throw is good. Frost ahead to Griffin. She will shoot it up, and it's good for 2. No, is it 3? It is 3.
They did a good job. Rogers brought a little pressure at, and now Park Center's going to pressure the ball coming up the floor too. Both teams are switching up a few things.
Now they put that 3 on the wrong side on the scoreboard. Layup is good.
They did.
For Jensen. And they gave the Rogers that basket as well. We're way off on the scoreboard. Cox shooting it up. No good. And rebound grab. And Bazell shoots and it will go.
And now it's, well, I think they're trying to get the scoreboard back up there, but they still haven't added the points the other way, have they?
It's a 3-pointer by Bazell, and it will count.
Is that score right now? What you have? There's some discrepancy out there talking about the scores.
Discussion on whether this was a 2 or a 3. Consensus seems to be that it should have been a 2, but it was called a 3. And now they're going to see if we can see where Bazell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
She's totally over the line.
Way over the line.
Way over the line.
Free throw good. A completely missed call there. Both feet were halfway over
way
the
over.
line. Ross lost it, now back out. Here's Griffin shooting, and that one will be a 3. So Park Center by 16, and there's a steal by Frost. Frost leading the break. Little hesitation dribble, layup is good. Third bucket for Lauren, she has 7 points. 49-31 Park Center. And that time the gamble did not pay off.
Did not.
Alex Fuller was all alone for the layup as she cut free. Oh, and Griffin wide right with that one. That one did not look good right from the get-go.
Nope, that was a little too quick. You know, they had a good momentum going, but that was just a quick shot. It's kind of funny. Cox tried to get it over there, but that ball was just way over her head.
Yeah, it's tough to be an offensive rebounder when the ball, you know, doesn't hit anything. I mean, you don't really know where it's going to wind up. Approaching 2 minutes to go here in this first half. A 16-point Park Center lead. Griffin trying to steal it, missed, but the shot then subsequently missed by Jensen. Frost whipping it underneath, but this will be a turnover. McKenzie, well, they weren't in a great position by then. I will say this, as many great passes Lauren Frost makes, sometimes she's looking for that perfect play all the time, and it can result in some turnovers too.
I agree. I think sometimes they just try to make it, they get used to going fast, and sometimes it just happens too fast.
I think we had a clock issue there, so they spotted that, and they say, okay, we'll just stop and get it reset here. Royals get it inbounded, and Brenning pulls up. Missed it though. McKenzie the board. McKenzie leading the break here for Park Center. Now we'll come back out to Frost. Minute and a half to play in the first half. Park Center by 16. Cox with the runner way too hard. Rebound knocked loose, and ultimately Cox up with it, and then Raglan saw McKenzie there but couldn't get it to her. Now Frost, the drive. Layup is good. Nobody really stepped up to stop her, so she just kept going. Minute to go now in this first half. Park Center's opened the lead back up to 18 now. And that one knocked away and taken away by Griffin. Layup is good by Tanae Griffin. 20-point lead for Park Center. And nearly another turnover there. Carl's looking down low. Jumper wouldn't drop, and then Cox coming up from behind blocks the shot of Glad. Frost for the layup, and it's good. Park Center running Rogers now, and it's 55-33. So they've been able to get some transition hoops here. Glad, turnaround try, won't go. Frost up with it. Couple seconds from half court, not gonna go, but Park Center pulling away here late in this first half, Patty, and kind of showing what they can do when they get out in transition, getting some steals and really letting it get up and down the court, and now building the lead to 22 now.
Well, yeah, they've been pushing the ball, and we've seen the good come out of it. Then we've seen them push it too much, where it's cost them some turnovers. One of the things that I'm still really impressed is Ellie Bazell. I mean, she's got 19 points right now. What they're doing is somebody's smothering her. Nobody even leaves her side, and she's still being able to score and do some things. And I think that's a lot of credit to what a basketball player she is.
Let's go over to Allie now with Coach Amundsen.
Hey, thanks, Jay. Coach, a hot start for you guys, but then turnovers really started to separate that score. How do you get back to what your team was doing in those first couple minutes?
Well, we lost to Adalia for about 20 minutes. That's the key. She's just willed herself to be, I'm sure she's got 30 points. But, they haven't missed very much, and we're not contesting this, outside shots. I think we're doing okay. We just lost our composure for about 10 minutes, and, we're young, and they just make long passes that aren't supposed to be there yet, so we'll get there.
What's your defensive game plan? Because you want to come out and apply a little more pressure, make them miss some of those shots.
Well, it's an early season, and we could play them a zone and sit and watch them pass the ball around 25 times, but I want our kids to learn how to play defense, so we're going to stick with our man-to-man, and they got to get better at it.
And what about getting Bazell more engaged and involving her more in the second?
Well, we're starting to pick her a little bit better. Our kids are understanding how to do that, and she's such a great offensive threat that, we just, with Adalia on her, she doesn't get many looks because she's a super athlete. So
we'll be thanking you for your time, Coach. Jay.
Thanks, Allie, and thanks to Coach Amundsen. We'll hear from Barb Metcalf coming back into the second half. Our score at halftime, Park Center 55 and Rogers 33. We'll have first half highlights and more basketball coming up for you here on CCX.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that.
Welcome back. Obviously, Rogers, a new member of the Northwest Suburban. Good to see they got all the banners up here from the conference teams, including Park Center. And so a 55-33 advantage for Park Center as we check out some highlights from that first half of play. And as Allie said to Coach, early on, they were hot. Ellie Bazell came out on fire, knocking down a couple of threes in the early going for Rogers, including taking that handoff and letting it rip there. And they did have the lead for a brief time to start the ball game. And the baseline jumper there knocked down by Jensen. And a back cut and layup going good, but the baskets became fewer and farther between as the half went on. There you see McKenzie getting the steal over to Cox, had that one denied.
Park Center was causing a lot of turnovers with them, and they were stealing the ball. There was a lot of things happening on their defense that was creating offense for them too.
There's a steal by McKenzie. Watch this one. Gives it up to Frost and then back with the left hand behind the back bounce pass for the layup. That one was probably the highlight of the first half. And there's McKenzie getting in and getting the steal against Bazell and looking to attack a little up and under and gets the layup to go. And there's Griffin just jabbing it away and going all the way for the layup here as Griffin got herself going after a little bit of a slow start. Frost making some things happen as well, and boy, they're tough when they can make threes on plays like that. You get caught up on a high screen a little bit. There's Frost coming up with a steal, pushes it back. Defense kind of backs off, so she goes all the way herself and attacks and finishes. You see McKenzie has put 22 up on the board in the first half, and Griffin 15. Bazell, and everything is advertised with 19 for them. But you see Brenning, who we talked about earlier, she has not gotten many looks at the basket at all, only 2 points in that first half for the Royals. Well, Park Center is one of many very good teams from the Northwest suburbs. In the early season, we're seeing that show up as in the rankings. Teams that we cover are numbers 1, 2 with Hopkins Wayzata, number 4 Park Center, and number 10 Maple Grove, who we saw earlier in the week lose to Wayzata. So safe to say we're going to have some pretty good basketball to watch this winter, Patty.
Oh, I think we are. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see these teams play.
So we will take a timeout, come back with more of our coverage here of Northwest Suburban Girls Basketball. Park Center leading Rogers 55-33 at the half. Welcome back here to Rogers. Let's go over to Allie now with Coach Metcalf.
Coach, coming into the game, you said you really wanted your defense to get better. Well, how about that defensive performance in the first?
I was really pleased with how our half-court man-to-man defense picked up this game. This is what we've been looking for, our matchups, and the kids are they're just kind of clicking. They're in the right spot for help. They're in the right spot to help the helper. I'm just really pleased.
We were just talking about how balanced of a first half that was for you guys. How do you stay composed in the second half and not let this get away from you guys?
Well, that's one of the things we talked about at halftime is we just got to remember the score is still 0-0, and we just got to go out and keep working. I guess if that's the theme that I've always tried to coach in kids is you just got to outwork the opponents and good things will happen.
You also said that this is the best team basketball we've played so far this season. What were you seeing that was emphasizing that for you guys?
I just liked our floor balance and how we're sharing the ball and just seeing the court. Sometimes I think, it isn't that the kids don't want to share the ball. I just think sometimes they just don't see their options. And I think as you start growing and maturing and the chemistry builds with each other, the trust builds with each other, then you start seeing the light, so to speak.
Chemistry like that gets you to 4-0 coming into today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie, and thanks to Coach Metcalf. And there was a lot to like for her team, and I thought she put it really well. That's the thing, when you have the talent to beat your player one-on-one, it's tempting to always, think, okay, I beat her, I'm going to score the ball. But there are sometimes the other good options too, and we're seeing that. They're sharing the ball nicely here tonight, and doesn't mean, that there wasn't a forced shot here or there, but you can't expect that if you're going to have perfection on every possession.
Exactly. I think that happens quite often. Kids get really comfortable and it's like, okay, I'm open, I'm going to take it. And maybe not the best choice, at the time. But, yeah, they've been balanced tonight. They've worked well on that. And it has been fun to watch.
55 points, obviously not a bad outcome, but I think like a lot of coaches, Barb was quicker to talk about what they've done defensively, because that's the part that, you know, you want to be working together. You want to be the things that you talked about in practice. Do they show up on game night? And that's what she was probably more happy about, even I think, than scoring 55 points.
Well, and I think that's what she's trying to get her athletes to understand, is that their defense, when they're clicking on defense, they're creating their offense, and they're playing better together as a team than offensively. And yeah, as a coach, that's what you want. Your defense is going to create your offense.
And it's kind of the old cliche, but defense travels well, too. If you're having a night where you're in a gym that's kind of unfamiliar and you don't like the rims and you may not be shooting well every night, but the defense is something that you can carry with you into any environment.
Exactly. You can always control how hard you play and how much effort you're putting on the defensive end of the court.
For Rogers, you know, there were portions of the half where they played pretty well, but like Coach Amundsen said, they just had a stretch where they just were hurrying things. There's a reach in by Brenning as she took a layup away from McKenzie. McKenzie then knocks the ball free and almost got it back. They look inside, look at McKenzie though with great recovery speed and gets the steal. McKenzie driving at baseline and was fouled. Just that little hesitation dribble got Glad out of position a little bit, and she did a nice job attacking.
You know, and I think that's one of the things that the girls have to work on too, is it's like they get that and they end up going so quick sometimes. It's like, you've got here, now work your play and run it, make it happen. Here's
Griffin looking for the reverse, but couldn't quite get the angle and missed it.
Well, Maddie Jensen played some great defense on her right there. She didn't get intimidated by her, that she stuck with her. And she did a good job of preventing that basket.
Back out for Bazell. That one is way short. Notice that neither team warmed up to begin the second half. I know that's maybe become less common than it used to be, but it looked like they, had a little time. They could have, but they didn't.
Yeah, we got out early when I was coaching, it was like I wanted the girls to get out and shoot again. You've sat in the locker room, you've talked, especially now. You're feeling comfortable with your lead. We'll get back there and start shooting the ball around.
They have an over-the-back call there on Clara Glad as she tried to tip that ball loose after the miss by Carls. So it will be Park Center basketball in the backcourt. Ragulin will bring it up court here for Park Center. Griffin will turn and shoot it. It's off the back of the iron. McKenzie kept it alive. And last touch by Rogers as McKenzie tipped it and then hit Brenning as well, they say. So Pirates will get it back. Inbounded to Frost. Ragulin coming to meet it, and Bazell trying to pressure and deny that pass. It'll be called for the bump. Rogers trying to make things a little bit more difficult for Park Center in their half-court offense too, but that time got a little too aggressive.
I think they're just trying to step up their defense. Coach is trying to get them to pressure the ball a little more and keep the pressure on the ball.
Frost to Griffin. A little up and under, and drew a foul. She'll go to the free throw line. Foul call will go against Jensen.
Both teams right now are trying to, and that would be Park Center's first basket and a half, but both teams are trying to get in their groove right now offensively, but they're both playing aggressive defense. Now they need a bucket.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of a game, you're so hyped up for your game, and then sometimes after halftime, you do see a little bit of a lull. It's hard to still be in that same mode from the first half. And McKenzie will be called for the foul there as she went after the loose ball and bumped Clara Glad. Second foul on McKenzie.
That's why, when we were talking earlier, that's why I want kids to come out and shoot and warm up in the second half if we've got time, just to get the cobwebs out again.
We'll pick and roll there. Pirates do a pretty good job recovering. Running in a little trouble. Got the pass away to Glad, and that one's no good, but Mache rebounds it. No good, and McKenzie grabs the rebound. The clock is not moving right now. Here's McKenzie, a drive, and the layup is good. So McKenzie will get the layup to go, and another chance for a three-point play as Glad will pick up her fourth. So McKenzie looking to complete a three-point play chance. Free throw is good. 25 for her.
They got McKenzie back on Bazell now.
Baseline drive, Bazell, and she's able to get it back. And then the jumper won't go. McKenzie, quick to the ball again. McKenzie stops, spins, missed it. Griffin, the rebound is good. Good strong finish by Griffin as she battled through, could have been a foul, maybe not, but just kept with it and put it high off the glass.
I like to see it when kids continue to battle for the boards. Yeah, you're going to get some fouls in there from time to time, but I want to see him at the boards. I don't want to see him standing watching.
There's Frost jumping in the passing lane for the steal. Frost all the way, no good, but was fouled. And Mache will pick it up. That will be her fourth foul, and a timeout taken here by Rogers as Frost jumping in for the steal.
And that's the one thing the Park Center was doing. They had to come back out and to get to their defensive set, start putting their defense back in order, and that's what's now giving them some options again. I think the Royals the girls got to settle down in the sense, go back to setting their picks for their teammates, go back to running their offense, and they're going to get their shots. They are good shooters. They are good athletes. Just think they're getting a little rattled.
And that's the type of thing, sometimes it's easier said than done when you're playing, against a team that's really good and has some good athletes. And I don't, you never concede, say, well, we're just not as quick as them or whatever, but some of that enters into it. Some of the some of the steals that we're seeing McKenzie or Frost make, 98% of the players in the conference couldn't have made.
True. Well, and I think with Rogers, they got to look at what were we doing that was successful, what can we do, and what can we control. Okay, yeah, we're down right now, but let's go one possession at a time, one defensive stop at a time, and continue to work together. And which they're doing. I mean, the kids are working really hard out there.
Frost to the free throw line for a pair here. And knocks down the first. She has 12 points. Second one is also good, so Lauren Frost. Solid game here. Park Center's lead grows to 30. Mathis keeping the dribble alive, and it rolls out. Rebound by McKenzie, pushing it to Lauren Frost. Stops, waits, lost it on the way up. Renning trying to push it back the other way, and we will get a foul call against Ragulin as she tried to jump in front of the dribbler there and go for the steal. Instead got some arm. Going to be free throws for Hannah Oman here. Pirates bench wanting that call to be on the drive, but instead will be shooting foul. I have to admit, I think she was going up. I would have given that 2 as well. Second one, no good. McKenzie grabs the rebound.
She's so strong with her hands, too. She can go up and grab that ball, and she's just a strong athlete. Makes it tough to try and wrestle a ball away from her.
Lob into Griffin. Creates a little space and lays it in. And that's something that Park Center, they don't necessarily have a lot of a post game, or a lot of teams in general nowadays actually, but it's valuable on occasion to be able to do that. Here's a pull-up, won't go for Brenning.
Well, and I think that's important to have those options down there.
McKenzie to Frost, but that one wouldn't go. Mathis into the lane. There's McKenzie, yet another steal. You run out of room in your stat book for Adalia McKenzie, right? And not just in the point total. There's her layup try, no good, but she was fouled. And we'll head to the free throw line here as the call goes against Oman.
Yeah, I'd like to know how many rebounds she has right now for a total. That would be, or steals.
Steals, yeah.
Steals
I was
alone.
say that might be.
I mean, rebounds and steals.
She's got 25 points, but even if she had scored 0, she still would have been a big contributor to the game tonight.
Definitely, with what she's been able to help create and everything.
See Jensen coming back in the lineup here for Rogers.
And this is what I'd like to see. I know Coach talked about trying to getting Jensen to post a little more. I'd like to see some of their post game coming because they do have such a height advantage. I'd like to see how they attack the Pirate defense that way and what the Pirates would have to do differently.
Almost lost there by Bazell. And that jumper is way short, and Park Center will get possession. Rogers just 1 point so far here in the second half. One free throw. Frost coming to get it out on the wing. Around it comes Tanae Griffin, looking to drive to the hoop and scores another. She already has 3 buckets here in the second half and 22 for the game. Mathis flipping it up off the glass. She thought she saw an opportunity against the smaller Raglan, but pretty good D. Frost from the corner for 3, and it's good. Park Center starting to really pull away now. 72-34, timeout taken here on the court.
Well, what we're seeing Park Center do right now is they're coming down, they're moving the ball around, they're looking for some post moves, and they're kicking it outside. Their offense is a little more, I don't want to say controlled, but it's not push, push, push. Now they're working, which is a great opportunity right now. Get in here and work some of your other things.
Well, and you find the teams that, that are really going to go deep into the state tournament usually have a few different ways to score too. And I think those are the things that, whether players realize it or not, throughout the season you want to work at, getting better, making sure you're able to do different things as an offense. Okay, if this is taken away from us, we can still do this.
Exactly. What are our different options? What are we going to do? The fun thing to see is we've seen several players from Park Center be involved in the scoring, and I think that's the one thing that's hurting Rogers right now. Okay, their main scorer right now is Bazell, and she's, like I said, we both said what an amazing ball player she is, but we need her teammates to start scoring a little bit, because then that's going to make Park Center have to work and focus a little more on the rest of the defense.
Mathis to the front court here for the Royals. And there's McKenzie jumping in for the steal, and missed the layup. Got away from her a little bit, and she hit the front of the rim with it, or the side of the rim actually on that right side.
And right now what the Rogers team is trying to do is they're trying to set several double picks to bring open a shot for Bazell, but that last time we had a good shot by Hannah Ullman.
Knocks down a 3, first made field goal of the half here for Rogers. Lead is 72-37. Baseline drive, Griffin, it rolls out, but McKenzie almost came up with that one. Bazell's going to step into a 3, but it's off. Jensen the rebound. Faded back with that one, and Frost grabs it. Frost kicking it to the corner. Raglan. Good job by Bazell to recover and stay under control, not go flying by there.
Exactly.
Griffin will turn and shoot it, and it is good for 3 more. Tanae Griffin. We've talked an awful lot about McKenzie, but Griffin's really fun to watch as well and tough to stop.
And she's definitely feeling it in this half here. She's got the touches have been nice, the shots have been nice.
First one was blocked by Griffin, but then Fuller able to stay with it and get the layup to go. Knocked away by Mathis. Try to go back out, and this one's going to go out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by Park Center. It didn't really look like they'd gotten to it, but it'll be Royals basketball. Bazell inbounding to Brenning here. Ooh. A little foul call against Rogers and injury for the Pirates. As Cox went down hard. Cox stood up, but now they're gonna. That's some pretty good strength there. Lakita Davis just lifted her right up. The Pirates assistant, who is, as you were telling me, Patty, in the program earlier, but had been at Cooper for the last few years. And Cox, you could see right away she was in pain. I admit I did not really see what happened there.
I didn't either, but you could tell by the way she went to the floor, she was in a lot of pain.
See if we can see it away from the ball. Oh, okay, there
went
she
right
is.
over the.
Yeah. The screener moved a little bit into her, and it might have been a knee-on-knee type of collision. And trainer working with her right now.
And Kayla is kind of, people don't really speak, but her defense she plays. I've watched her. I mean, she's not a very tall young lady, and yet she plays some of the toughest posts in defense. She has to pick up them and has done an amazing job on that. And she brings the defensive tenacity to that team.
So Cox hope that it's not anything too serious as they work to flex that knee. And I think the timeout was kind of taken maybe just to kind of settle Park Center down a little bit so they're not so worried about Kayla right now. Sink comes in to replace her. Lauren Frost will inbound for Park Center as we resume play with the Pirates up 75-39. Ragulin to Frost. Dishes it off to Ragulin. A little step back jumper, and that is good for 2. Aaliyah Ragulin, much like Cox, those maybe aren't the first 2 players you always notice, but boy, are they valuable to this team.
Oh, they definitely are. I mean, Aaliyah is someone also that has worked a lot in the offseason and in the summer on her shot selection. That's one of the things Coach talked about the team too. It's like she wanted them to make better shot selection choices. But, you watch Aaliyah, she's just spunky out there.
There's Griffin for the layup, cutting free. They gambled trying to steal a pass. It did not work out. Griffin gets the layup. Pull-up try here is good for 3. Wow, as Fuller has come alive a little bit. 7 points for her now total.
And that's something that has been fun to watch with Rogers. They aren't even close to the three-point line sometimes, but it's a beautiful shot, and that's one of the things they're going to have to watch for.
Frost threading the needle to Griffin. There was not a lot of room to get that lob in there, but they did it. 81-44. Bazell whipping it, but that one won't quite connect. Griffin will inbound here for Park Center. McKenzie drives, pass was tipped. Griffin will still get it and shoot it up, no good. Fuller the rebound. Brenning trying to attack. And that 3 attempt will be short, and Frost out of there with it. Along ahead, Griffin for the layup. Griffin is a scoring machine here in the second half. Not that her first half was bad with 15, wow.
Well, and if you notice in this half, she hit some outside shots. She has, but she's also been able to score quite a few shots inside, which I think is something that would is a huge asset to Park Center if they continue to do that.
Ragulin open for 3, won't go. And that one's going to bounce into the Pirates bench. It will be Rogers basketball. And with this margin, we have running time now.
You know, we talked about when we looked at the scoring for Rogers, and then in the second half, we've started to get a couple more players start to contribute and add a little more. And that's what Rogers needs. They need scoring from multiple players.
Rubin will come in. McKenzie, the officials, one didn't realize that the other one had waved the sub in, so they inbounded the ball as they were still finishing that change. That right there might be the only bad news of the night for Park Center, as they've got some ice on the knee of Cox. And near turnover there for the Royals, but Fuller is in a good position to get it. Carls with McGill out defending her. Brenning trying to attack, and Ragulin will be called for the foul. You can just see in Brenning's eyes that she's thinking, this girl's really not very tall. I can probably just go right at her. Ragulin did a pretty good job, but they'll end up getting called for the bump.
And I think that was exactly what's happening. We got a mismatch here. Let's take it in, get myself a good shot. But she'll just go to work at the free throw line.
Brenning's free throw is good. She has 5.
Rogers is a very good team at the free throw line from what I've seen of the people that have come up so far tonight. They very few misses in the night.
Second one also good. You managed to avoid jinxing her there, Patty.
I know, yeah, that's true. Got to be careful on that.
McGill to Ragulin will shoot it up, and it's good for 3 more. Ragulin a pull up again. 2 more for her. 88-46 Pirates. Boy, they are very much within range of getting to 100 here. We've got still about 7 minutes to go, and granted, running time, and they probably will be doing some subbing, but still. Little step back jumper wouldn't go there for Glad. Rebound try is good for Mache. Her first field goal. She's worked hard tonight. She's picked up some fouls, but I think she's kind of given them some scrappiness. Ragulin shooting. That one is short. Brenning working it up court here.
I think she's still wanting to take advantage of that realizing that Leah's a little smaller than her, and she thought about it, then came back out and found another player.
First bucket there for Glad. McGill giving it up. Griffin's right arm not tired yet. Missed on that one. And then we'll get a foul call. Let's go over now to Allie with an update on how Cox is doing.
Yeah, Jay, you saw the shot that we had earlier, and as you see now, Kayla Cox, she's got the ice out. Ice out means probably not going back into the game, but having a nice cushion of a 38-point lead gives the team a little bit of room to breathe, to not have one of those great contributing players out on the floor. Give her some time to rest. I'm sure it's an injury. She'll come back from pretty quick.
Shadeja Chapman coming into the game here for Park Center. Gazelle pops out, no good with that one. Sink out of there with it. Here's McGill. Ragulin lofting it inside, trying to go to Chapman, and winds up with Sink instead, but not able to get it to drop. And looking for Carls, but too far ahead of her, and out of play it'll go. Leah Wenzel will come into the lineup here for Park Center as Ragulin will check out, presumably done for the night.
A lot of the bench is going to get some good minutes in here for the rest of the game. You know, and that's the other thing. You've got a comfortable lead. Get your starters out of there. You know, void injuries possibly. Also get some other kids a chance to get in there and on the floor.
Banked in by Chapman. A foul call there. Royals trying to get something going off the inbound pass.
I was kind of trying to figure out what was taking so long to get the ball inbounded.
3.5 to play here, and a 40-point lead for Park Center as they look to go to 5-0 on the season. Chapman picks up the dribble, then her pass stolen as Carl's got to it.
Oh, that was pretty.
Nice dish. Layup won't quite drop, but good timing on the pass as Bazell was cutting and Glad found her.
That was a nice play.
You see Bazell just bumped a little bit there. That was one that, you know, even though it's a miss, was pretty impressive athletic play there.
Oh, the way she went up and it was in the air and that would have gone in, that would have been an amazing finish. It was a nice job.
Raven Robinson coming in for Park Center.
You know, when you talk about Bazell, you just watch her and she's so fun to watch on the floor, and then you look and she's still only a sophomore. I mean, that's got to make Rogers smile. I mean, you've got this young lady this year and you've got her for 2 more years.
Shantice Baggett, number 14, coming in as well for Park Center. Rogers making some changes as well. Sophie Lynch, number 35, is in there. Riley Nordberg, number 10. And number 22, Mallory Van Engen, number 22, in for Rogers as well. Megan Heinen, 32. Baggett driving, left-hand layup. Oh, wouldn't quite drop. Chapman rebounds and will go to the free throw line. Well, the combination, I think, well, mainly because the clock's running, but no, I no longer think they're probably going to get to 100, but still an impressive point total.
It is very impressive. You know, and it was that they played together. They played, you know, as Coach was saying, one of the first half, one of the best that she's seen as far as offensive team play, and that's what they got to continue to do. You know, this team was young a few years ago, just like Rogers is now, so it's going to be fun to watch how Rogers continues to develop in the rest of this year and in the next couple years.
Under a minute to go now as Park Center rolling here and going to pick up their 5th straight win to begin the season, and we'll get a blocking foul called there against Robinson. And free throw bounces and drops there for Oman. Second one is also good. And down under 10 seconds to play here as Park Center Scoring a nice road win here tonight. Pull-up jumper partially blocked, and that will end it as the Pirates roll to a 90-54 win. And obviously, most of their games have been a lot closer than this, but they did a lot of things well to extend that lead. I thought, sometimes you get like a little greedy or overconfident or whatever with the lead and stop doing the things that got you that lead. But I thought they did a pretty good job of not letting that happen to begin that second half.
Well, and I agree. And if you look at it, Rogers came out in the beginning of the game. They went to a lead, and Park Center just slowly came ticked back. Their defense has stepped up, and that's what started creating things for them to be successful.
So a dominant performance on the road here for Park Center. They've got a little time before they'll be back into action. Not a huge amount of time, but on Tuesday is when they'll be retaking the court as they play over at Andover. And then they got a pretty nice string of home games coming up after that, so a good chance to see the Pirates on their home floor a few times late next week and then into the following week as well. So got some good opponents coming up too. We'll talk a little bit more about that maybe later on. So let's go over to Allie now with one of the Happy Pirates.
Hey, yeah, guys, I've got Adalia McKenzie here. What an impressive win tonight. Your first dominant win this season, because most of the rest of them have been close. What allowed you guys to be so effective and balanced on both ends of the ball?
During the game, we just stayed mentally focused, and in practices, we just focused on defense and grinding it out every play.
You were all over the court. You were forcing turnovers left and right, putting up over 20 points by halftime. What was it about your game tonight that allowed you to be so effective?
I was just mentally focused, and I wanted to help my team. I always focus on winning, so I wanted to do whatever it took to win.
I got to ask, what do you like more, defense or offense? Because you look like you are hungry on both ends of the ball. Which one do you have more fun with?
I would say defense, because my defense leads into my offense, and I like getting stops.
You guys, I talked with your coach before the game, and she said, we're trying to regain some more respect on our name because of last year's St. Louis Park loss. That was a heartbreaker for you guys, or Spring Lake Park, sorry. So you guys come into this season, now you're 5-0. What does a start like this say about you guys trying to put that respect back on your name?
We bounced back. We're coming this year, yes. And funny thing is, Coach put SLP on the board.
So that constant reminder is always there. What about the rest of your team tonight? They seem to all really just work so well chemistry-wise. You guys all played together last year, no seniors this year. You come back together. What's that chemistry like so that you guys can be so dominant?
Well, we know we've been playing with each other for a long time, and this is our seniors last year, so we want to really come together and get the win together.
You guys are very fun to watch tonight. Congrats on being 5-0.
Thank you.
Jay.
Thanks very much, Allie, and congratulations to the Pirates. Thanks to Adalia for joining us in the postgame as well. So it is Park Center winning it tonight. Final score is 90-54 over Rogers. For Patty Sorensen, Allie Mosley, and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Rogers.